location at the National Museum of the Marine Corps in Quantico, Virginia, filming the winter edition of the Young Marine News Network. And we're so excited to be here with this year's Young Marines Public Affairs course candidates. And of course, your National Young Marine of the Year, Young Marine Sergeant Major Orozco. It is so good to see you again.
It's good to be here, sir. Good to be here.
So much history, so many great things in this museum, and provides such an outstanding backdrop for our public affairs correspondents to practice. And right now, that's who's running the cameras. Public affairs correspondents, they're being guided and supported by Dave Harrell, who does Pinnacle Productions, all of our Young Marine News networks, but as part of that training education live here at the museum. And the other correspondents are running around filming pictures, interviewing veterans, and all kinds of stuff today.
Yes, sir. The public affairs correspondents right now, they're practical application. They're testing their hand, doing interviews with some prestigious veterans in the area, some members of the military and some other individuals. So that way, once they get out in the field and start recording these things for the Young Marines organization, they're ready to go.
Outstanding. And we're going to go into that in a little more detail later on. The first story we need to cover are those new Division Young Marines of the Year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What an outstanding group. And you obviously know all of them, and you're going to know them real well next month when we take them to Iwo Jima.
Yes, sir.
But you want to talk about them for just a second?
Absolutely. So each year there are 6 new Division Young Marines of the Year. Division 1 is Young Marine Sergeant Major Enrique Herrera. Division 2, Young Marine Sergeant Major Lauren Loria. Division 3 is Young Marine Sergeant Major Samuel Stiles. Division 4, Young Marine Sergeant Major Kayla Colacion. Division 5, Young Marine Sergeant Major Robert Brushaver, and Division 6, Young Marine Sergeant Major Joshua Ely.
It's going to be a great group. I'm looking forward to working with them. I know you've been in contact with them already, talking through issues and helping them kind of coach them along as to what they need to do while they're out in the field.
Yes, sir.
Well, you know, while we were here for the Public Affairs Correspondence course, last night we had to take a little bit of a break. And Young Marine Sergeant Major Orozco and myself, along with some other members of the headquarters staff and volunteers, went up to the Iwo Jima Association of America dinner. It was a great event. Happens once a year. It's kind of the prequel to the Reunion of Honor trip. Young Marine Sergeant Major Orozco and I, you had an opportunity to meet some veterans beforehand.
Yes, sir.
Got a book signed.
Yes, sir.
What's not to like?
By Iwo Jima veteran himself.
And we got to meet quite a few people there too.
Yes, sir.
One of them, Lieutenant General Christmas, who was instrumental in starting the Young Marines organization years ago, actually hired Mr. Kessler to get the program really started as a national entity. One of the special guests we got to meet last night was Mr. Shindo, the Honorable Mr. Shindo, who's a member of the Japanese House of Representatives, who is also one of the key members that helps put together the annual Reunion of Honor on Iwo Jima. It's his work that really brings that to happen, along with the Iwo Jima Association people there. We had a chance to talk to him for a minute, describe the program. We even got a couple of photos. So it was really a phenomenal evening to get to meet some real heroes from American history and people we're going to see again next month when we go out.
For myself, I have a lot of events and I'm trying to stay busy, especially with the new Division Young Marines of the Year. I've got to get that traveling in and take every opportunity I can to inspire and motivate. One of the big chunks of traveling is definitely going to be the trip to Guam and Iwo Jima to honor our veterans. Something special this year is I'll be going to Okinawa beforehand to visit the units that we have on the base in Okinawa, Japan, and then going back to Guam to meet up with the rest of the Young Marines.
Yeah, it's an outstanding opportunity we had this year, very unique. You know, while you're already to Guam, you're so close to Japan that it's a short flight for a few hours that we can get you over there to visit those units for a couple days. And the way I think it's tracking right now, you're going to get to Guam just 2 hours before us, so you're ready with the reception party, right?
Yes, sir.
He'll have the leis, the puka shells ready to go to give to all us when we show up all sleepy and tired. You know, we're always looking for great submissions for Young Marine News Network. I'm really excited to get a submission from Quartz Hill Young Marines, Young Marine Daniels, who sent in a great video for a winter encampment that they were doing there in their area.
Good morning, Young Marine News Network. My name is Young Marine First Sergeant William Daniels, and today I'm at the Quartz Hill Young Marines Unit Encampment. So we're out here doing field stuff, and it's pretty fun.
Good morning, I'm Young Marine Gunnery Sergeant Kimberly Daniels for Quartz Hill Young Marines. Today I'm teaching and constructing a shelter class. As you can see, the Young Marines are now constructing their own shelters. They have approximately 15 minutes to accomplish. I think they're doing well. First squad over there is doing very well. They're like one of the only groups that picked a perfect area to have their thing done. The other groups, they're doing well. They're getting their stakes in, and that group over there, I believe, just finished.
I set up this encampment in order to teach my Young Marines everything they need to know for field in the basic guidebook, and the junior guidebook.
Motivation! Dedication! Binoculars if I need to see things far away from me.
This is another way to cook that food in order to make it to where you can eat it by boiling the water.
Later on, we have a compass course set up over there. There's a bunch of little flags and stuff set up, and the Young Marines will be shooting azimuths and finding their location and finding points all around the land. They're scattered. For the Young Marine sergeants and corporals who have earned the Young Marine map and compass ribbon, when they get this course done. So everyone else is just training purposes. It's just a nice day, and we're getting stuff done out here in Quartz Hill. Again, I'm Young Marine First Sergeant William Daniels with the Quartz Hill Young Marines for the Young Marine News Network. Thank you.
What a great video report from the field. Thank you so much for sending those in. And for all the rest of the Young Marines out there, please continue to send your videos in, because we want to hear from you. We want to see your stories from the field so that everyone else can see them as well. And I really have to thank Young Marine Daniels for bringing that one in. But you know, that wasn't the only activity of excitement that happened in the Southern California area. We had a rather special event and a special honorarium provided to one of our Young Marines in the San Diego area.
Absolutely, sir. So one of our Young Marines, Young Marine Master Sergeant Sophia Righthouse, earned the life savings degree for her actions in San Diego. So what happened was there was an apartment fire that had taken place, and she went around and was able to alert the residents of that apartment and get almost over a dozen people out of there from the potential danger of that fire, and ended up having a day named after her in the city of San Diego.
That's really amazing. And we have some footage from that event as well.
I want to give special recognition to Sophia for her outstanding efforts to evacuate a condominium complex in Rancho Penasquitos. On November 4th, 2017, Sophia and her father were driving to a Young Marines event when they spotted a fire at a condominium complex on Black Mountain Road. And without hesitation, Sophia personally assisted in evacuating the residents of the complex and even briefed the firefighters arriving on scene. Because of her efforts, nobody was injured. Sophia displayed nothing short of true bravery that morning. Be it resolved by the City of San Diego that this council, for and on behalf of the people of San Diego, does hereby proclaim January 23rd, 2018 to be Sophia M. Righthouse Day in the City of San Diego. Congratulations.
What an outstanding show of heroism, courage, discipline, and leadership in a situation. And the fruits of that achievement really reflect the Young Marines organization and what we invest into our young Marines. Our public affairs correspondents really jumped into it on this course and started with practical application. So what they did is they were tasked with going throughout Young Marine headquarters and filming things and then editing and developing a video, which culminated in a film festival, which they voted amongst themselves which video that they created in one day won the title of it. And it was an awesome opportunity for them to really apply what they learned so that way they can use it in the future.
Outstanding. Young Marine Public Affairs Correspondent Film Festival. We'll have to watch those later on today. I know it's been action-packed. They've been going from the morning to the evening, covering so many of the basic topics that are going to help them as they go out into the field this year and provide more input for the Young Marine News Network and all of our various social media platforms. Young Marines, you may remember last year I asked Mr. Edgar Huff, the former executive director of the Alumni Association, to transfer and put his teacher's hat on full-time, not only for his regular job, but in support of the Young Marines across the country by helping us improve the educational offerings that we have. And a lot of those products you're going to be seeing coming in the next weeks and months ahead. In the meantime, though, we had to do an exhaustive search to try and find a new national executive director for the Alumni Association. And we were very fortunate that someone who's very familiar with the program and has been a longtime supporter as well as a longtime alumni was gracious enough to accept the opportunity. And so I have Jason Asbill as the new executive director for the Alumni Association.
Great, thank you, sir. I'm happy to be on board. I'm ready to get moving.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, and not only, no kidding, is he happy to be aboard, but he already presented me, along with the working group of all the Alumni Advisory Committee, all those former Young Marines that are so passionate about the program, worked pretty much all weekend while the public affairs course was going on and presented me with a series of initiatives that are also going to be coming out new. And I'm really excited with a lot of the things that you're working on.
Sure. Just to rehash a couple of them, one of them is obviously the Spaces Scholarship. We're continuing to improve that process so that Young Marines can attend Spaces cost-free, which is supported by the alumni. And then for the alumni themselves, we're looking at starting a public service scholarship for the alumni and a career services hub, so we can get alumni and take care of our people and get them jobs and get them help getting those jobs and getting into college.
You know, and that's really it, because, you know, when young Marines graduate or retire or move out of the program, you know, understanding you were part of a very special organization, and you should be able to carry on some of those activities as you move past the young Marines. And I'm really excited too that I see that a lot of the alumni, they give back. I mean, most of your advisory council, they're here working on the Alumni Association, but I believe every single one of them still continues to volunteer as an adult volunteer with the program.
Sure, we have alumni all over the country volunteering with their units, and we keep track of them, and we track their engagement with their units, and we just want to keep them engaged with the young Marines as long as possible.
Yeah, it was great to see a lot of it. National Leadership Academy had a lot of young Marines, you know, providing that bridge between, you know, some of our older volunteers with the program and a lot of our Marine veterans who may or may not have been young Marines themselves. Sure. But they're coming back to give back and to provide their experience and guidance and a little bit of a history of the program when they're there as well.
Right, yeah, it's a great thing to see.
It really is. You know, and lastly, for purely selfish reasons, I'm always excited to work with the Alumni Association, because so many of the alumni are successful in life in the various careers that they pursue, between being lawyers, we have teachers, we have finance management, we have first responders, many join the military as well, but there are so many great examples of success, and it may not be fully attributed to the young Marines, but I like to think that a lot of what set them up for success was this experience.
Yeah, so a big part of the mission is to develop responsible citizens, and you see that throughout our alumni community.
Yeah, we really do, and I really do appreciate all that you do and all that you're going to do for us, along with the advisory council and the other the people that not only are they have jobs, they have lives, they're volunteering with the young Marines, and they're spending that 2 extra hours of time before they go to bed to help work on the Alumni Association to make good things happen for those that have been part of the young Marines.
Right, yeah.
But I want to ask you a little favor.
Sure.
What I'd like to ask you to do, Mr. Asbill, is your first semi-official duty is help me with a little bit of an award ceremony, passing on something from one National Young Marine of the Year to the other.
Sure, absolutely.
Mr. Orozco, Young Marine Sergeant Major Orozco, come on in. He's been standing off camera giving me cues when I mess up. Good to see you again. It's been so long. Sir. Yeah, I know. So, you know, I understand that in between going to encampments, being here at Public Affairs, representing, making videos, and everything else, that you actually took part in a rather special project of your own here recently, back at your unit.
I did, sir. I worked with my city on this community service project, and I represented my unit as the Young Marine Advocate on behalf of the entity. And the goal was to provide a community service project, but beyond that, something that lasted. So what I did is I pushed our unit to adopt a part of the creek in our city, and then stay committed to cleaning that for the next 2 years, multiple times a year. And so I led the first cleanup and created the relationship between the city and the unit and established those bonds. And then we went out there and we had a cleanup, and we ended up collecting a couple thousand pounds of trash out of the creek, which, starting in Colorado, which where I'm from, as that moves downstream, has an effect on the water systems of cities and states below.
Outstanding. When you think about that too, what he's talking about, it's about leadership, taking the lead for a need, and it's about the discipline to continue the process and the teamwork of bringing everyone together to make it happen. And obviously, we have a very special award that we give out for projects like that.
Be it known that Young Marine Sergeant Major Angel L. Orozco has completed all requirements for the Distinguished Order of Merit for his exceptional performance while a member of the Young Marines of the Marine Corps League. The Distinguished Order of Merit is the highest achievement award of the Young Marines. Signed, Colonel William P. Davis, USMC retired, National Executive Director, CEO of the Young Marines.
Hey, congratulations. That's a great job.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Young Marines, this is something you too can earn. And I'm seeing a lot more of these packages coming in. So make sure that you're out there looking at the Distinguished Order of Merit as something you can do in your Young Marine career. It is the highest award that we do in this program. And I'd like to see more of those packages cross my desk. But again, go out there, find a need, look at the program, and put your package together and send it in. Many of you have seen emails from Ms. Kayla Nakano, who's joining us as the education manager. She's an experienced teacher with some background specialization in curriculum development that is going to help us improve and upgrade all the educational offerings we have for the young Marines, being assisted by Mr. Edgar Huff, who retains his normal teaching job, but will be helping us bring this all together. As many of you already saw, Mr. Jeremy Jones, who retired Marine, has joined us as the operations officer for the program, taking over from Mr. Bob Borka, who has since moved on and helping the Marine Corps League run their operations. And that's a great partnership for us to retain with the Marine Corps League. As many young Marines know, the Marine Corps League is helping us out all across the country. Now, assisting Mr. Jones are two former alumni. Many young Marines who went to leadership academies will recognize them. Heather Briley-Schmidt and Stormy DiGiovanni are joining us to help out Mr. Jones as we continue to improve all the products, all the things that we do for this organization, and you're going to be seeing a lot of that coming up in the months and weeks ahead. So we want to welcome them aboard, and we thank you very much for all of you that continue to support our program. And that concludes another episode of the Young Marine News Network. It's so exciting to see so much video, so much activity brought to us by the young Marines. Instead of us spending all of our time up here talking back and forth, you get to see what's going on in the field. And that is super motivating for me, and I know for you as well. And what a great location to film the News Network. And the next time we'll see you is going to be live from the Adult Leadership Conference in San Antonio, Texas.
Yes, sir. We'll be there, and we'll choose the next National Young Marine of the Year, and the Division Young Marines of the Year will move forward into their role in aspiring, motivating youth all across the country.
Outstanding. But between now and then, Sands Iwo Jima and the climb to Mount Suribachi.
That's it for us here at the National Museum of the Marine Corps. Until next time, young Marines, stay motivated, stay dedicated, and accept the challenge.